Hey, and welcome to this After Effects tutorial on how to make a looping animation. We'll be recreating this one that you see on the screen right now. Let's go! After Effects open, I'm going to make a new composition. I'm going to call it Loop Tutorial, and I'm going to have the preset at HDTV, and then I'll have the background color be a pale red. Once you got that, you're going to click OK and OK again, and you'll have your new composition. To make a shape, you're gonna right click on the dark area, go over new, and then click shape layer. To pick your shape, you're gonna click the tool beside the pen tool, left click and hold, and then you can see the selection. I'm gonna click ellipse tool. To make a perfect circle, just left click and drag while holding the shift key. If you ever want to perfectly center a shape in the middle of your canvas, you can go to the Align tab on the right side. If you don't see it, you can go to the top bar and then click Window. You can skim down and click the Align setting on and off. Once it's on, you can click Horizontally Align button and the Vertically Align button. This will center your shape. Now I'm going to take care of the anchor point. This is the point of reference for your shape when you rotate or move it. So you can hit the icon beside the shape tool or hit Y. You're going to click out of the shape and then back in. And you can see this little anchor in the middle. If you left click, you can drag it around. Holding Control will center it. To resize the shape, I'm going to click V, and then while holding Shift, click the corner and drag it inwards to maintain its ratios. One more thing left for maintenance sake. We're going to rename the layer. So click on it, hit enter, and then type circle, just so we know that this layer is, in fact, the circle. Now we can start actually animating. I lost a clip for this, but if you click on the layer and then hit P, you get position, and you're going to hit the stopwatch. This will allow you to create a keyframe. At this keyframe, I'm just going to move the circle to the top left and off the composition, because we want it to jump into the frame when the video starts. Then we're going to scroll ahead to 5 seconds. We're going to hit N. This will shorten our workspace. And then if you want to cut the beginning, you click B, but we don't need that. To change how much you see in the timeline, you can see this bottom left slider. Zooming out will let you see minutes, and zooming in will let you see frame count. Now we're going to roughly position the circle. So from the beginning, I'm going to go ahead to before a second, and then move the circle down because it's going to jump into the frame. I'm also going to adjust the end so it looks a bit farther from the beginning. And then I kind of want to see it for each frame. So I think every 15 frames, the circle will be somewhere else on the screen. So I'm just going to go ahead at 15 to the last keyframe and then move the circle. And you see automatically when it's not in the same position as before, it'll create a new keyframe, which is the little diamond you're seeing. I'm just gonna zoom through each spot. So it's gonna jump in, go left to right, left, and then out of the screen. And because this is less than 15 seconds, I'm just gonna hit N again at the last keyframe. So the line you see represents the path the circle's gonna follow, and each node on this line is the keyframe. These represent where the ball's gonna be at a certain time. If you click the handles, these things, you can adjust how the path will look. So since the ball is bouncing, I want it to follow an arc. And I'm going to do that for all of them. So once I grab all the keyframes and adjust them like that, I'm going to hit play. And you can see it looks like the ball is bouncing. It's a little bit rugged, but the idea is there. Now we're gonna fix that. So you're gonna highlight all of them by clicking position and then hit F9. Now all the diamonds are hourglasses. This means we eased all the keyframes. So now the landing looks more plush. Something more advanced, we're gonna go into the graph editor. Make sure you highlighted all the keyframes before you clicked that button in the top left. And you can see each bump, which represents the speed that the ball is following between each keyframe. All these yellow nodes at the bottom you see me editing, those are the keyframes themselves. I'm lifting them up because at the very bottom, it means it stopped. It has a speed of 0. So I'm lifting them because I don't want the ball to actually stop. I just want it to slow down. So you can see me, I'm just pulling these handles. I'm adjusting the speed per second. So what's happening for the first bumps, for example, it's slow, but it starts to speed up. And once it's really fast, it starts to slow down significantly again. And then it does that about 6 times all the way through. And this, you can also see me editing the size of the workspace. So that would be when you click B or N again. Or you can just drag the blue tabs on the top bar below the numbers. I was doing this because I felt there was a lag between the ball going off the screen and then coming back in when it's looping. So I just wanted to shorten the time it's been off the screen. So after finicking with it a bit, I found a pace I like. So that's done. Now I'm gonna try to add a little bounce to the ball when it lands from impact. To do that, I'm gonna click the layer, hit S to open the scale settings, and then click this chain which breaks the aspect ratio. And I'm gonna shift P to open the position settings as well so I can see where the ball lands. Now I'm gonna key the scale settings. I'm gonna move the first key up 2 frames, and then I'm gonna adjust the width and the height by scrubbing over the number, or you can just type it out just so it looks like it's flattened from the impact. And I'm going to copy the first keyframe I made and then paste it 2 frames later. So then the ball is its normal shape, squished, and then normal again. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight these 3 keyframes, Control C to copy, and I'm going to paste them in the other points of impact. When you play it through, you can see it's a lot more bouncy looking, has a character to it. Now I'm going to highlight all the keyframes by hitting scale and then F9 to easy ease it. This makes it look more natural. Now we're going to do some shape morphing. So we're going to make a new shape just like we did with the circle, and instead of the circle we're going to make a triangle. To do this, I'm going to hit the star tool, and when you click to drag to make it, it might have more points than usual. Just play with the up and down arrows until you get 3 points and 3 sides. Again, make sure you're holding shift while doing this, just so we have an equilateral triangle. Now we're just going to do the same thing as we did with the circle before. I'm going to center it. You don't have to, it doesn't do anything, I just do it for preference. And then click the anchor tool or Y, drag it, and then center it. But I'm going to pull it down just a little bit so it's at the center of the triangle. So when we rotate it, it's going to rotate about that point, not any higher or lower. Now we're going to do some shape morphing. So click on the new shape layer we made, open the drop down menu, and then open the drop down menu for contents. And you're going to open it one more time, right click on the poly star path, and then click convert to Bezier. Open that one, and then Control C, copy the path. Now we're going to paste it into the circle. So we're going to do the same things before. Open the circle's drop down menu, open its contents, open ellipse 1, and then convert ellipse path to Bezier. Great, now we're going to open the path and we're going to start keyframing it by hitting the stopwatch. At the beginning, I'm going to put a key there just for safety measures to make sure the circle stays a circle. Now we're going to do some rough shape morphing. So at the point of impact, the shape is generally going to change. At the second bump, it's going to change into a triangle. So what you're going to do is you're going to Control V, paste the path we just copied earlier at the point of impact, and you can see it turns into a triangle. The triangle is looking a bit small, so I'm just going to double click it, and you see this little box opening up. I'm just going to drag the corner, hold shift, and I'm going to pull it outwards so that's a little bit bigger. So this first key is for a circle, the second key is for a circle, and our third key is for a triangle. We're going to do this one more time but with the square, so I'm actually going to go to shape layer and delete the poly star, and I'm going to replace it with a square. Just to save some time on the video, I'm just going to quickly fast forward through this part. Hit play. Now we got the square going. Beautiful. So you can see between each keyframe we've made, the shape actually morphs throughout the whole hop. We don't want that to happen. We want it to change as it lands. So what I'm going to do is before each transition of shape, I'm going to copy the path of the shape before. I'm going to paste it 2 frames earlier. By doing this, the shape before, for example, the circle, will stay a circle until 2 frames after it'll turn into a triangle. Same with the triangle to a square. You can see as I'm playing it, the keyframes has helped change the shape as it lands, not as it jumps. Congratulations, we're done shape morphing. You can delete that shape layer. Now we're just left with our circle layer. I'm just going to take this moment to resize the square. It's looking a bit small. And nice. Better. Feel free to play however you want. Here, I'm just seeing if the transition for the shape change could be 1 frame, but it was better with 2 frames. You could also easy ease this too, F9. Couldn't really tell the difference, but I just did it anyways. We're almost done. I'm now going to add rotation to the triangle and the square. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the stopwatch beside the rotation setting. And every other bounce after the triangle was made, I'm going to copy and paste the original orientation of it. Every other jump, I'm going to rotate the shape by -130. You can see that it's not really rotating by the center of the shape. So what I'm actually going to do as well is key the anchor point. I'm sorry, there's so much keyframing here. And at each point that it changed into a triangle or a square, I'm gonna adjust the anchor point to follow the center of the shape. Here I did it for the triangle, and now it's turning by its center. I'm also going to change it to -180 and not -130. And slowly I'm going to go to the square. And I'm going to adjust the anchor point for the square as well. I copy and pasted the triangle anchor point and then pasted it 2 frames before, just so it doesn't start changing the anchor point while it's jumping. We just want to avoid the same issue from the shape morphing earlier too. Now I'm just gonna set the square to -180 for its last jump. And then I am also going to easy ease all these keys, because why not? I also realized the anchor point for the circle wasn't correct, so I just went 2 frames before it turned into a triangle and readjusted the anchor point so it matches the center of the circle. So now everything is moving at the right point of reference, at the right speed, with enough flamboyance and spin. We are nearing the end of this tutorial. What I'm going to do is rename the layer to main shape, and we're going to duplicate it with Control D. What we're doing with this new layer is we're going to call it stroke, and this will be the stroke of the shapes. First of all, I'm going to change the fill by hitting the word fill, and then hit the white box with a cross on it. That's a no fill. Then we're going to hit stroke. I'm going to make it the solid with hot pink, and we're going to make it about 20, maybe 15 pixels thick. Time to add character to the stroke. So hitting the layer, clicking P, I'm going to highlight all of the keys, and we're just going to move them to create an offset from the original shape. To upper left. Oh. Now what I'm planning to do is at every point of landing, we're gonna position the stroke so that it falls further than the original shape. But before I do that, we're just gonna undo those. At every highest point of the jump, I'm just gonna save a key. And I'm gonna save a key 2 frames before this landing. And then every point will have a further position. I'm just going to skim through all the highest points and then save those. And then I'm going to do another pass through for each landing. I'm going to move the stroke to go past the original shape. This kind of emphasizes the falling and the bouncing. one last thing to do, I'm just going to change the colors of the composition. So I'm going to go composition settings, background color. I'm going to go for this dark gray. And that's it. Congratulations, you finished this animation. An additional thing you can add is motion blur. All you have to do is click the icon of multiple circles in the track bar here. I can't really tell the difference, but for some animations it really comes in handy. But yeah, that's it. You completed this tutorial. Good luck in your animation making, and I hope this video helped. Bye!